It can be said, I think, that no one ever has and no one ever will bring more people into the sport than Lefty did. Lefty and I came along at a time in this sport, or lifestyle, you might say, where everything was being invented. Nothing really existed. There weren't good reels, there weren't good rods, there weren't good fly lines. Everything was new, and Lefty was the consummate innovator.
It was almost like I wasn't working it right, Lefty, to keep him interested in it or something.
Well, sometimes they really like the bug work fast, and we'll just have to fool around here a little bit to see what they like. But on smallmouth bass on rivers, this business of throwing out a popping bug and then smoking a cigarette and letting the rings go away, that's crazy. It'll drift over a whole lot of fish that never saw it. Oh, little tiny fella. Eat it, eat it.
Part of Lefty's job was to liaise with the several local fishing clubs. And one evening, Lefty came to my club. He was the featured speaker that evening. Honestly, nobody cared. Nobody was listening. People were talking. I mean, I felt bad for Lefty, but I didn't know Lefty. There was a guy sitting in the front row, had a fly rod. He walked over to this guy in the front, asked if he could use his fly rod for a moment. He stripped off about 60 feet of line, laying on the ground, and he held the line in his hands, and with his first two fingers, holding the line with his thumb and his first two fingers, he began false casting, and then he made a back cast and a haul and shot the entire 50 or 60 feet of fly line, maybe more. The place was totally quiet because there wasn't anybody in that room that could have done that with a fly rod. At that moment, I realized what was possible. For the very, very first time in my life, I had never seen anyone do that with a rod or anything else. And I said, whatever this man has, I've got to get there. Lefty's contributions were timely. He made endless contributions. And fortunately, institutions like the American Museum of Fly Fishing will be the stewards of Lefty's trail.
Lefty has said, you never display knowledge, you share it. I have thousands of friends. I was married 61 years to one lady. I never met a gentleman that was satisfactory in all quest of life.
I don't think there's any other sport where you could hang out with Babe Ruth and talk to him. I was 25 years old when I first met Lefty. And I always call him the Godfather because whatever Lefty says, everybody in the industry always paid attention and listened to. It's amazing to be able to pick up that torch and hopefully do him proud.
I just wanted to show you this bend in the river is super deep. And see that one palm that leans over like that? That's kind of the marker for this place. And Lefty just loved putting on a little weighted fly and swinging it in this current. Just wanted you to see this thing in this light. You know, that beautiful stand of cabbage trees right there.
It's beautiful.
This place just enchanted Lefty, always.
I can see why.
there's two flies I've invented I'm really proud of, the Lefty Deceiver and this bug. We call it Lefty's bug. I started working on that thing in 1947.
What took you so long?
It took a long time to get it where it is, about 20 years. But if you notice, it picks out of the water without a splash.
There was a time in my life where I came out of the woods and took a job behind a desk. I did it for far too long. It was very comfortable. At the end of each day in my banking career, after lending people money to go do their dream all day long, there I sat in an office and my dream was totally unfulfilled. I look back at it and I would have been retired by now. But all that I would have missed during that time isn't worth the price that I would have paid for retirement. I guess through your life, time means different things to you at different times in your life. I mean, when you're young and it's the beginning, you don't see the end of time. And so you have time for everything. But at some point you reach the realization that you're closer to the end than the beginning. And so time takes on a whole nother meaning and a whole nother value.
Lefty, you have as much fun with these bluegills as you do with bonefish.
You betcha.
As I look at this generation of fly fishers, you know, who are jetting around the world and making catches that were undreamed of and doing things with fly rods that you never dreamed, it's wonderful. I love seeing that. But I'm fearful that if they don't spend more time and energy looking into the future and including and somehow finding a way to engage youth, it'll all go away in a generation or two. It'll be gone. But what's worse than that is that all the resources and the habitat that we've held dear will be at some point turned over to a generation of people who have no touchstones to the natural world, have no way to appreciate it, have no way to love it, and if they don't love it, it'll never be protected. Lefty died at 93. He, at that point, was not vital physically, but mentally, he was as vital as he had ever been.
Lefty, you know that I always listen to you talk about Joe Brooks, and if I haven't had a chance to thank you prior to now, let me take this opportunity.
Well, I only hope I helped you half as much as Joe helped me, Flip.
You'll never know how much, Lefty.
Well, it's really nice of you to say that.
His template for the rest of us is to try to remain vital for as long as you can. At this point in my life, all I have is time.